So we'll get into some of the hockey questions. After a win, Matthew Schaefer said that you like to listen to On One Tonight by Gunna.
Such an idiot. Yeah. Yeah, we listened to On One Tonight by Gunna and then Fried by Future.
Mhm.
And then there's another Gunna song, Him All Along, I think. Me and Shafe kind of started that this year in our room. We kind of wanted to bring like a little more like just like vibes after the game, just better like be happy we won. Like you're not gonna win every game, so appreciate it when you do. So we started kind of playing that song and get the vibes going and stuff like that.
Does he know all the words? He said that in karaoke he doesn't really know a lot of
No, no, he's just
the words.
straight humming and making sure he's catching the good vibe of the song. We both are on
Gotcha.
that kind of wavelength, so it's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. He talked a lot about you, so I thought I'd throw that one in there.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your favorite karaoke song to sing, and what's your guilty pleasure song?
It's a good question. I don't sing karaoke really ever, but right now I've been listening to actually a lot of Coldplay. So I'd say
Nice.
kind of anything by them. I really like Scientist, Yellow, Clocks, anything like that. I'd say would be my karaoke song. And I'd say they're kind of my guilty pleasure. But actually, I've been listening to my guilty pleasure song is probably "Rich Girl" by Daryl Oates. I think they're called Daryl Oates, something like that. I'd say that's like my guilty pleasure song.
I also, Roger McQueen, when I was talking to him, he said that when you were at the Helinka Cup in 2023, the atmosphere was going wild. And when you went into overtime, he took a penalty, but then you ended the game. Can you talk me a little bit about that experience and what was going through your mind
Yeah,
on that play?
yeah. So actually, before that, though, a little story time. Before that, I took a penalty in the third, and it was a bush league call. Like it wasn't a great call, and I'd say this is nothing against the rest over there, but when we were over there, I think it was adjusting the physicality in North America. I find a lot more physical because the ice is so much wider there. So
Mhm.
there's not as and longer, like it's Olympic sized ice, so there's not as much physicality because if you over go for a hit and stuff like that, you're out of the play when you're over there. So I find in the smaller barns in like North America, there's a lot more hits and whatnot. And I think there's a physicality play that I probably did, and I took a penalty, and then whatever stuff happened, and then we went to overtime, and I was
Mhm.
like just like so worked up about the fact that I took that penalty, and we got into overtime, and I had a few shifts, and in the overtime, like no one kind of made any moves whatsoever. Everyone was playing really safe. You could tell that both teams were just like super nervous. So in overtime, I just kind of like made a play and I just went for it because I have a pretty good stick. I knew like all right, like this guy's gonna turn his back, like he's gonna kind of think it's a vanilla play, like it's gonna think it's nothing. So then I went just stick check, went right through. No, I had a breakaway, and then luckily enough put it in. But I had no clue looking back on it that there was like 6 seconds left. Like I had no clue. Like it's
So
crazy to
cool.
think about that. Like if I did that 5 seconds later, maybe that doesn't count. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that's kind of the story time on that.
That's a great story time. I love that, honestly. What was your
Yeah,
experience in the penalty box with all those checks around you?
awful. It was just,
Yeah.
it wasn't, I honestly wasn't the checks around us. That was the awful part. It was, you have your heart in your mouth. Like you're watching your teammates
Mm.
go. And I played on the PK and like, obviously like the power plays over there are so good. Right. And the killers are great too. And we had to sit like a unreal goalie in Carter George, but it's just so nerve wracking because anything can happen. Like one timer pass, like it can be in the back of the net, like one flank shot back in the net, tip, anything like that. So, and it's possession, right? So it was really nerve wracking watching that from the box. That was probably one of the worst things ever.
What's been your proudest moment on the ice?
I think winning gold at U18s
Hmm.
both times was great. I think Holinka I loved because that was kind of like our '06 group. Like that was the only time we've had a best on best. But I think Worlds was really cool. I think at Worlds we were deemed the underdog because that's kind of USA's like whole big tournament because they trained for it for 2 years, like that NTDP team.
Hmm.
And we kind of all we heard about was all this NTDP teams, this that, and they're obviously a really good team. Like from the first line down, like they have some really good players that are playing at some great schools, and there's a couple guys in the O now too. So like they had a really good team. But and we were kind of deemed as underdogs, and it was great that we kind of went in there and stole their thunder and won that tournament. I think that was like a great showing that Canada hasn't done as well as it's probably want to in some of these World tournaments as of recently, from the older guys down to the U17s. And I think it was great to show that, like we still should be deemed one of the best countries in hockey, like this, our sport. So that was really cool, I think.
Do you wear your gold medal around the house a lot or show
No,
people about it?
no, I don't. I think I actually have it. I was lucky enough to get it framed with my jersey, so
Nice.
I have it up as like a memoir and something to just look at every day. I think it's like I don't have it obviously at my billet house in Erie. It's at my house back home, Mississauga. So, but yeah, I don't wear it around the house or anything like that.
That's pretty cool. Can you build your perfect forward? Like a hockey IQ, skating, shot, and physicality?
In terms of like what player,
Yeah.
like
What
okay,
player
sure.
you would want in specific areas, past or present as well?
Okay, so I think skating. I think I would choose probably McKinnon, probably for skating,
Hmm.
and then I think I would choose for hands. I think I'd choose like probably Datsuk's hands.
Nice.
Um, got some slick
Good one.
hands. Him or Kaner, one of the two. And then I think for hockey IQ, I think I'd actually probably choose McDavid. I think his hockey IQ is underrated because I think for the speed that he goes at, you have to be really smart because a lot of the times you're ahead of the play on guys because how fast he is. So I think how like the way he uses defenders so then he can create chances for other guys. I'd say probably him. And then for like just like tenaciousness, like just like grit, I think I choose Crosby and like leadership. Like I think you got to choose him. And then for shot, I would probably I think Ovi is the typical answer. I think like that one timer, but in today's game, honestly, I'd probably choose Matthews right now. He's got like a sick shot, and he's a lefty too. So I'm thinking about it as a lefty. So I'd probably say for those aspects of the game, I'd choose those guys.
Really good about McDavid because a lot of people don't pick his hockey IQ, but when you're going that fast, like you said, you got to also think that fast. That was
Hundred
a really
percent,
great answer.
100%.
And in your opinion, what's your favorite part of the game? Offensive rush, defense, or something else entirely?
I love. I think obviously there's the parts in the game of like offense, defense, like you said, power play, penalty kill. I think overall, I just like the whole competitive aspect. Like I think it's great. Like hockey, it gives outlet for people in general to kind of have those competitive aspects of their life. Like I think some people are like, I don't think I've ever met a hockey player or anyone in general who's in sports that's like not competitive at all because everyone wants to win. So I think that aspect of being able to get up every day and having the chance to win, and obviously, especially in regular season and whatnot, is also knowing like, hey, if you have a bad night Friday, you don't have time to think about it because you're going to play again Saturday. So I think that also aspect is having that kind of like that fish mindset where it's like having a goldfish memory where it's like whatever happened then, like you can't worry about it because you got another play you got to make. So I think that aspect of it I love too. Just even away from just like offense and defense and whatnot. I think that kind of whole kind of sums it up for me.
Do you hate losing more or love winning? Or
I
wait,
hate
do you
losing.
hate losing more than you love winning?
I know exactly what you're saying. And I hate losing. I hate losing more for sure. I think I love to win. Don't get me wrong, but nothing's worse than losing. I actually saw a quote from I think it was Hurts, Jalen Hurts, when with the Philadelphia Eagles, how he was like, "This winning the Super Bowl like is the best feeling ever, but it doesn't match." How equally bad it was losing in the finals, like the couple of years before, because the Eagles played the Chiefs and lost, right? So I think that sums it up best. Like winning is the best feeling ever, but losing hurts more than winning feels good, if that makes any sense. So,
Is there anything that you're ultra competitive about other than hockey?
in terms of like other sports and whatnot,
Yeah.
yeah, I really like basketball. When I was a kid growing up, the Raptors won, like in some of my prime childhood years. I think it was grade six. I think they won or grade five maybe. They were in the finals and they
Kawhi Leonard.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Kawhi bounce. It was the biggest thing in where I grew up. The Kawhi bounce. Anything that was a dribble off the rim and then went in with a little bit of
And
time to pass. Yeah, it was like a huge thing. So, I'd say basketball. I'm really defensive on. I love LeBron. I think he's probably, besides Sidney Crosby, my favorite athlete. Just as a whole, I just think for the pedestal he was put on in terms of the expectations he had, he somehow surpassed the expectations that he was given out. And he's also just like he's just a like a good model in terms of what you want to be as an athlete. Like he's not like I think there's a lot of guys that are kind of I don't want to use the word drones and bots, but like don't have a lot of personality. He has personality and he's a great father. And like you never see him in the media for kind of doing anything bad, and he never comes at guys and stuff like that. So I think I'm really defensive on him when people try to say stuff bad about him. I'm like, how can you hate the guy? Like he's done nothing bad in terms of like to anyone or anything like that. So probably that.
It's LeBron or Jordan, and then sports goats. So, um, would you say LeBron's your GOAT?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I'll go to the end of the earth to say that, which is funny because my dad's the biggest Jordan fan. Like his name's Michael, and because his name's Michael, he thinks
Hmm.
sometimes that he's like Jordan. Because I know there was that big thing growing up when he was a kid, like be like Mike. Like that was like the kind of the saying. So he's a big Jordan fan, but definitely LeBron. My goats in sports, though. That's what you said. So I think probably in football, it's hard not to say Tom Brady. I think in basketball, I'm gonna say LeBron no matter what. Hockey, I think it's probably Gretzky, and then the era I grew up in, though, it's definitely Crosby. He's like that was like my kind of goat. But and then in like I like watching tennis and golf, and I don't really watch baseball. I couldn't say a lot there. But in terms of tennis, like I love I actually love Djokovic, but I know Federer is probably the goat, and then for golf, Tiger Woods. So like that's the easy answer. I've gotten into golf more, so I'd probably say that for my goats. For
Yeah.
soccer, oh, I I don't know, like between Messi and Ronaldo, like you're kind of
Mhm.
picking maybe Messi, maybe Messi.
It's a
But
great
my favorite player though is actually right now is Mbappe. I love him. I think he's so good. But I'd probably say Messi. Yeah,
World Cup final game when it was like two Greek gods going against each other, Mbappe and Messi scoring all those goals. I That was the best soccer game I've ever watched. So cool to
Mbappe
see
had a
that.
hattie,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
Mbappe. And Messi he scored that game too. And
yeah. I think he had
he
two.
yeah, I think he had two too. Yeah, he both of them insane. That sport is insane over there too, and like Europe and those countries, like it's
Hmm.
it's nuts. So
Who's your best player in the NHL under 23 in your opinion?
under 23,
Hmm.
that's a tough one. Is Wyatt Johnson under 23?
I believe so.
Trying to think some of the
I think
players.
he's
I'd probably
22.
say he's up there. Is Boldy under 23 or no?
I think so. I think he's like 22. I get like Jack Hughes, Celebrini, Bedard,
Hughes
Lane
Hughes
Hudson a lot.
Hughes is under 23.
Yeah, his birthday is May 14th. I get that a lot, so I had to look it up.
Okay, so then yeah, probably Jack Hughes then. If it's
Hmm.
under 23, I think he's probably the answer. But I really like Johnson and Boldy too. I think those two are really good players too. I think they're going to be like really good players in the show.
Yeah, I
So
completely agree with you. I want Wyatt Johnson on the Blackhawks. He's an RFA, so
we'll see.
yeah. Who's your NHL comparison for yourself?
I have two actually.
Hmm.
I really like Carter Verhaeghe. I like his game a lot. I think he plays the right way. He doesn't cheat. He plays a 200-foot game, and he can kind of do all aspects. He can check, he can score, he can play make. So I really like him. And then my other one's actually Boldy as well.
Nice.
I love his skill. I think he's a good actor on the net. He can score and he can play make as well. So I like those two guys.
Take one skill from any NHL player, past or present. What would it be and why?
Any skill I could take?
Yeah, any skill you could take.
I think it's hard not to take McDavid or McKinnon's feet.
Hmm.
There's, I think it's really hard not to take that. So I'd probably say that one of those two. Other than that, maybe maybe Datsuk's playmaking and like his overall like just how he can him or Kane like their playmaking and how they can because it allows them to get opportunities for themselves and for opportunities for their teammates as well. So I'd say one of those two.
It's awesome. I grew up watching Kane, so that's a great answer. Really
Yeah,
like that.
Chicago
Are
fan,
you?
right? So
Yeah, yeah. Are you a trash talker? And what's the best chirp you've ever heard?
no, I'm not a trash talker unless something is said to someone else, but I definitely yap on the ice. I definitely talk, but not so much like a I wouldn't say like I'm getting in guys' grills unless like I play pretty hard. So like I like to play hard. Like I like to
Hmm.
play with physical. So because of that, usually guys obviously don't like it. So usually they come to me. I wouldn't say I'm going out and seeking it, but when they come to me, obviously I'm not just gonna sit there and look pretty. I'm gonna say something back. So but the best chirp I've ever heard, not towards me, is towards a guy on our team. It was actually Sam Alfano. I can't. I think it was a guy on London. I can't remember who it was. I think it was McHugh last year. Keep in mind, Alfano's like in really good shape. Like he's really lean, but he's a bigger guy. And um, there's a scrum by our bench, and what's called one of their guys had neck guard, and it fell off, and it kind of hooked onto Alfie's gear, and he took it to the bench, and then gave it to our equipment manager, and their McHugh yells over at Alfano. He goes, "Hey Alfie, like we need that. Hey, we need that neck guard. It's not dinner." And I laughed pretty hard. Like I laughed pretty hard because like it's just like it was so out of pocket. Like he was just chirping them, like saying like it's not dinner, talking about the neck guard. And it was hilarious. And he even laughed at it too. He told me after that like it was like pretty funny. So I'd probably say that.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your experience getting drafted number two in the OHL priority selection draft? And what was your emotions?
Yeah, obviously. Um it was kind of really up in the air. I don't like even now with the NHL draft, I don't really pay attention to boards and stuff like that. You just have to let those things kind of happen and wherever it goes. So kind of when I got word that I was coming to Erie, I was pretty excited because obviously they have a lot of history, especially recently with Dylan Strom, DeBrincat, McDavid,
Mhm.
Sorelli, Fogle, all those guys. So Radish. So I was pretty excited and the emotions were kind of it was not relief I'd say, but I'd almost say relief in terms of like I think for me and my family it was like, oh okay, it's a step in the right direction, like to get to the end goal of obviously playing in the NHL. I think it's like, oh okay, like you're going to the OHL now, like that's the first step is like playing being good enough to play at major junior. So I think that was kind of the emotion. It was obviously really excited and a little bit of relief too.
How are the fans in Erie when you go to like a coffee shop or get dinner or anything? Do they mob you, take pictures, and ask for autographs?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Obviously, there's I wouldn't say there's a ton going on in Erie in terms of sports entertainment. I think there's us and the Seawolves, so they're definitely really passionate. They've been super nice since I've got here. Like there's I can't even count on my fingers how many times I've gone to eat breakfast or gone to eat lunch, and there's a fan there, and they offered to pay for my meal. Like it's just something they didn't have to do, and it's super nice. And obviously, I have no problem taking pictures and signing stuff. Like that's just a part of the game, and I love it. So they've been really good, and they're definitely really passionate. So they're crazy, especially when we play teams like London and stuff like that. They really show up. So
Do you remember the first time you signed an autograph?
yeah, I think the first time I signed an autograph was at OHL Cup in my draft year for the OHL. There were some kids in minor hockey there that were younger, and they asked me coming off the ice to sign some stuff. That was pretty cool.
Cool moment.
Yeah, for sure.
What's one thing your teammates know about you that fans probably don't?
And teammates know about me that fans probably don't. Ooh. Um, I'd probably say really. I wouldn't say this is pretty weird. It's just I have a really wide music variety taste. I think
Hmm.
I've dipped my toes into kind of every genre. I obviously except for like not obviously, but not into like opera and stuff like that. But I have a pretty good sense of I feel like I can pick up with a lot of generations and what type of music they would like in terms of it's older people, if it's younger people, if it's my age, if it's 2000s, whatever. I think that's probably what I would say. Um, yeah, I'd say probably that's something people don't know.
What's your favorite song of all time?
I'd probably say Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z and Alicia Keys.
That's a great
Um,
one. Yeah.
uh, yeah, I think probably that is my favorite one. Um, but yeah,
Do you have any pregame rituals before games, or the weirdest pregame ritual that you've ever seen or heard about?
okay. Yeah, I think before games, I wouldn't say it's superstition. I say it's just routine.
Hmm.
Like I don't do it at a specific time and stuff. I just like I have stuff in order. Like I show up to the rink at a certain time. Like I leave my house like around the same time, and then I get to the rink when I get to the rink, and then I have a routine. But some stuff I don't even realize I'm doing. Like I know some guys are like, oh, I put on left before right. I couldn't tell you if I put on left before right. Like I don't know. It just happens sometimes. But I'd say my routine is I take one timers right after we do last puck, and I do them with Fimis. And we then, after we Fimis takes his last one timer, we both do three. We both come around the top of the circles and we high five each other, and then continue. Say the weirdest thing I've ever seen though. I keep hearing something about Bo Shane and this friggin' moon water. I heard about this at the prospects game. Something about he puts water out at night, and it's like that. It's probably this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And the moon, the light of the moon, he leaves it by the window. It's moon water, and then he drinks it the next morning, and he scored that night. So I think he does this moon water thing. That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. But that was the weirdest one I think so far.
I That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in
It
terms
was
of pregame rituals.
it
But
was
if he scored,
bizarre.
it worked.
Yeah, apparently he scored. So hey, I don't know, whatever. So
What's your perfect 5-year plan?
you're playing. I don't know. Honestly, I think it's just like in terms of what happens in the next 5 years.
Hmm.
Honestly, I don't know. Just whatever happens, wherever I end up, I think just kind of enjoy it. I think that's my biggest plan. Is I'm gonna continue to take classes. I'm taking classes outside of hockey as well, and I think just kind of grow the mind away from the game. So I wouldn't really say there's no cookie cutter 5 year plan. I think it's just kind of enjoy whatever you're doing. Obviously, I'll be playing hockey and wherever that is, and just kind of enjoy every minute of it and appreciate it because there's people that would love to be in the same position that I'm in. So
What are you studying?
I'm working towards my BBA, my full Bachelor of Business Administration. So
Nice.
my undergrad. So yeah.
I'm a business administration major with a
Oh,
concentration in finance, so it's very
awesome,
cool. I didn't
awesome.
think I'd end up here, but I'm living the dream on this, getting
Exactly.
interview prospects and stuff. So you never know where it's going to take you. Maybe I'll make the NHL one day. I got eligibility, but
You never know.
yeah. Can we let's zoom out and you win the Stanley Cup? What does your day with the cup look like?
Dang, what the cup. Bring it back to where I grew up in Burlington. Um, and then just maybe have a barbecue outside. That's one of the things my family loves to do is kind of do a cookout. Have my dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family over, and some family and friends, obviously, and um, usually like to go and make some steaks or make some chicken, make some burgers, something like that on the barbecue, and then um, just to enjoy the day with the cup. But never really thought about that aftermath. It's more about getting there and then going from there and then winning once you get there. So
I know you probably are taking it day by day, but have you envisioned your rookie lap or first NHL game?
yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely thought about it. I think that's the thing you think about when since you're a kid, and I think it's crazy though, because I think hopefully the one day I get there, and I think the day I kind of step on there, everything I thought about will kind of flush back in, and just think about when I was a kid and all those things. So
What are your passions outside of hockey?
um, I love basketball. I'm starting to get into golf more too. Really upped my golf game last summer. So I'd probably say those two are my hobbies, I'd say outside. And then I just like doing like normal things. Um, I like going on walks and kind of just enjoying, I think, enjoying crazy to say nature. Like I'm really not that type of guy, but just I like being outside. Like I like swimming. Like I like doing that type of stuff. So I'd probably say that.
What is your biggest strength on ice?
I'd probably say my hockey IQ or my skating. I think both of them go hand in hand and allow me to make plays offensively and defensively and in all areas of the ice. I'd probably say that.
If you could tell your younger self one thing about your hockey journey, what would it be?
Keep working. Probably
Keep
probably
working.
say that.
Yeah.
Keep working. Never give up the grind. I think enjoy the grind. I think, like I said before, a lot of people would love to be in the position that I'm in. So enjoying that. My day consists of playing hockey and working out um, and doing schoolwork. That's not a bad life. I'd like to say. I think a lot of people would enjoy that life, right? So because I know there's university kids that are doing the school aspects, taking more classes and have to work and want to go to the gym when it's built into my schedule. I get to work out and to skate and then do school right after when I'm done with my day at the rink. So I'd probably say that
How do you want to be remembered?
a leader.
Mhm.
I think in terms of like at the rink, or are you just talking about as a person in general?
Both in hockey and as a person, or whatever you think.
I think in hockey, I want to be remembered as a leader and a guy that when he was around, people enjoyed being around him. And I think that kind of goes into what I'm going to say about how I want to be remembered as a person. He's just a good human. I think um, in life, the people that are good to you, that do the extra thing, I really try to do the extra thing, like holding the door open for a person, example. I think like something like that, it maybe could make a person's day. You never know, right? Maybe someone's having a bad day and you go over and you're like, hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Like maybe you're leaving a drive through, you're going to Chim's and you say, have a great day. Like just little stuff like that. I want to do that more. And I think I've done that a lot more, especially these past few years. Is just kind of like the little things for people. I think those go a long way and you don't even realize because you never know who you're talking to and what they're going through. So probably that.
After a long, successful NHL career, would you rather be a coach or a GM?
Probably a coach. I'd prefer to be down in the trenches with the group rather than up in the box watching. The game's a
Is
lot
there
different down there than from up above.
head coach, assistant coach? What do you think?
Probably, I don't know. Honestly, I think either. I think I can see myself kind of doing either. I think I can see myself being more into like situational and skills, and then I can also see myself being an assistant and focusing on offense and defense. And I can also see myself being a head coach and leading by charge. I think anywhere. I think I'm when my hockey career's done, I'm definitely gonna stay around the game. Just haven't really thought about it. Just only really been focused on just my career. So, but yeah, honestly, I don't know.
Do you have a specific favorite NHL team that you grew up watching?
Yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins because I'm just a huge Crosby fan.
Hmm.
So that's kind of it.
That's a really good one. For the end, can you describe your game in 3 words?
Pace, complete,
Hmm.
and I would say probably skilled, hard. One of the other two.
Thank you for joining me today on Draft Pros Hockey. This was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Anthony. I appreciate it. Sounds good. Thanks, Anthony. Have a good one,
Have
buddy.
a good one.